So he says, how'd you like to pick up an extra trick tomorrow? I said, gee, yeah. He said, well, listen, I'm going to call down to personnel. He said, and how about you reporting here at the 40-inch rail mill office tomorrow morning at 8? And he said, I'll call the office. He said, hey, you got safety shoes? And I said, yeah, sure. You know, everybody in the mill had to wear safety shoes. He says, well, bring your safety shoes along. And he says, you report here at 8 o'clock tomorrow. He says, you're going to have some fun. Well, I did not realize what I was about to get into. I just figured, you know, here's my chance to make some extra dough, you know, make some overtime. It was Saturday morning, and it was a hot summer Saturday weekend type situation. I think, you know, groovy. That Saturday night, I'm going to have a lot of dough, see? So, because when you work a special trick like that, I explained something to you. When you worked a special trick that was in a department that was not your own, you were on what they call detached service from your department, and you were paid in cash at the end of that day at the personnel payroll place. So I thought, gee, this is great. You know, I'm going to get some real folded money for, we'll have a big date, you know, Saturday night. So that Friday night, I called up this chick, see, and I said, listen, I said, I got a job. I'm going to do an extra job Saturday, and I'm going to make some dough. So how'd you like to go into town? We're going to Chicago, you know, I'll get the car, we'll drive in, have dinner and a whole bit, see, Saturday night. So she says, fine, great, see. Little did I realize. So, 7:45 the next morning, I got my safety shoes on, I got my goggles. You see, when you worked in this part of the mill, by regulation, both government and mill regulations, you had to wear the hard hat. We had hard hat. We had big heat safety glasses. These are different than the kind of glasses you see the guys use down here when they're working street machinery. These are safety heat glasses, which means that they have dark blue-purple type lenses which resist heat, because you can burn your eyes, believe it or not. You burn the surface of your eyes, Nick, in the steel mill by opening your eyes, simply opening your eyes too close to heated material. You scorch the cornea. So you have to wear a special type of heat-resistant glass. It's a dark, curious purple color. And so I had on my the whole bit, see, the glasses and stuff. And so I show up at 7:45. There's my buddy, by the way, Arnie is his name. So I walk in and I said, how are you, Arnie? And he says, you made it. And he said, listen, he said, do you go downstairs now? And he says, go down to the soaking pit's office and tell Thompson that you're the kid I was sending down. So I said, okay, Arnie. He said, good luck. I said, okay, Arnie. So down the steps I go. These were iron steps like they have in the mill, and I go across the yard, and there's the 40-inch soaking pit, which was dark. So it has a curious, dark, subterranean quality about it. And there were about 15 of these pits, all in a row, great pits, with these enormous cranes that moved up above them, and tracks, railroad tracks that ran in between them that would carry the ingots in and out of this place. It was a long black shed that was roughly a half-mile long, maybe 100, 120 feet high. Tremendous black, this corrugated metal shed. So I walk into the 40-inch soaking pit office. You know, walk through there, and there's this guy, Thompson. I used to deliver mail to Thompson, Howard Thompson. See, it's always had been a name to me. Now he's a real guy. See, so I walk in, and there's Howard Thompson sitting there, and he's got this black jacket on. He's got the safety shoes, and he's drinking coffee. And I walk in, and I said, Thompson? He said, yeah. I said, I'm the kid that Arnie sent. Oh, yeah, okay. He said, over in the locker there, pull your stuff. I said, what stuff? He said, it's in the locker there. Take the stuff out of there. And he said, come on over and sign out a slip on that stuff. So I walk over there, and I open the locker. There was about 10 lockers inside this little crummy little wooden office. I walk over and open this locker up, and I look in there, and here inside the locker is an asbestos suit. Now, an asbestos, it's a two-piece suit. It's a big jacket that fits over your jacket, and it has tight connectors, like fasteners, strap fasteners at the waist, strap around the waist, and around the wrists. It's a kind of a whitish, grayish asbestos impregnated heavy canvas with a big number on the back, 1237 slash underneath it says inland steel. And the pants were big, wide, canvas, asbestos-impregnated pants that had, they're like big ski pants is what they really were. See, so I pull these pants on, I put this thing on, and he gives me these big gauntlet gloves, these big heavy leather things that come up all the way practically to the elbow, see, and they're covered with asbestos. And he says, go on down, he said, I think Manuel. He says, go down and see Manuel. He's down at pit number 2. So I walk out of the office. Now I'm dressed like a deep sea diver. I got this helmet on, the purple glasses. I got the white suit on with the numbers on the back, and I walked down through the pits. And it was then that the hell began. I see, standing next to pit number 2, this crowd of guys. There was about 8 or 9 guys, all sort of huddled down, and they're working. See, and they've got ropes and stuff going down into this pit, and all kinds of tools and junk laid out there. And there were big cans of stuff. And I walk up to this guy, absolutely covered with dirt and crud. He's got black stuff all over him, and he's got a wild look in the eyes. See, his Pedro down there. And so I walk up to Pedro, and I said, Pedro, I'm the guy that Thompson sent up. He said, oh, yeah, okay. He said, all right, get over there in the end. He said, we're going to go down now. Let's go. I said, what the hell are we going to do? He said, well, grab your chipping tool. We're going to move out. He figured I knew all about it, see. He said, grab your chipping tool. I said, I don't know what to do. He said, you just go down and do what the rest of the guys do. He said, you're allowed to down 3 minutes down, 3 minutes up, 3 minutes down. You get a 10-minute break at the end of the hour. What the hell? So I go to the end of the line with a bunch of other guys. There's about 9 of us that are standing there absolutely silently, and these guys have got chipping tools. Now, what a chipping tool looks like, it looks like a heavy metal bar with a handle on it that you can put your hand around. Your left hand goes around the top. Your right hand holds down at the bottom. It's like a pistol grip. And the bottom of it is like, really, in effect, is a big cold chisel, is what it is. The bottom has a chipping, kind of a heavy blade at the bottom. And I hear a whistle going. Pedro's blowing a whistle, and I see coming up out of the pit, they have an elevator that's made out of this heavy corrugated metal, and they're pulling guys out on pulleys. Up comes a crowd of guys wearing big black glasses. They have these big hats on, which, by the way, are handed to the next crowd. And these guys sit down on the ground with their mouths hanging open. And they're coughing. And they hand me one of the helmets. I put my helmet down over my hard hat. It's just a big shroud, really, of canvas impregnated with asbestos. I put on the big glasses, and I step on this elevator along with the other 6 guys, and we are lowered down into the pit. The pit. Hear the expression, friends? The pit. I know what the pit is like. I have been in hell. So when people come and tell me that I'm going to be doomed to a lifetime in the afterglory of existence to hell, friends, I know what it's like. Each one of us, now I'm going to give you the final pièce de résistance. Each one of us have strapped to the bottom of our feet, Nick, to the bottom of our safety shoes, they have strapped wooden clogs that are roughly 3 to 4 inches thick. The wooden clogs strap over your shoes, and the bottom of the wooden clogs have a heavy slate-like sole that is deeply corrugated. They lower us down into the pit, and I can't believe what the scene is down there. Everything is sort of vaguely red and moldering, because this is red hot down there. The temperature is roughly in the vicinity of 200 to 215 degrees. As you step off of the elevator, your shoes begin to burn. And you begin to chip away at this thing. Chipping away. Chip, 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 chip. And you see the steam rising. And you begin to feel that heat slipping into the very gut of your life. And you're looking through those dark glasses, and all around you are these guys leaning over onto their chipping tools with the steam and the smoke arising. 1 minute goes by, and the heat is getting unbelievable. 2 minutes go by. The heat, you can't stand it any longer. You can feel the sweat going down the inside of your pants. And now I'm beginning to get hazy in the vision. And then all of a sudden, from the far distance, I hear beep. And I see my fellow victims all moving towards the elevator. We start moving upwards off the floor of the pit. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. I'm at the top. I take my hat off. I sit down on the ground. Two minutes go by. 3 minutes go by. And now the second ship comes up, and we pull our helmets down, and back into the pit we go. Hour after hour, up and down. Back into the pit. Up into the air. Back into the pit. Up into the air. 8 hours of hell. And at the end of the day, I felt like a totally different person. I took off my asbestos suit. It's now 8 hours from that morning, and it seemed like 7, 10, maybe 15 years ago that I appeared at the 40-inch plate mill. I got on the bus that night and sat hunched over, carrying my lunch bucket. I must have lost 26 pounds. And all around me, my fellow steel workers, chewing tobacco. All I knew was I was never going near that 40-inch soaking pit again. They'd have to come and get me with a double-barrel shotgun and move me in. Some of those guys had worked in there for 15 years, 20 years. And they're out there working there tonight.